Hello, everybody. We'll get started here in a second. Just give a couple more people, give some people time to get on board. Hi, Murphy. Hi, Mark. Nice. Louisiana and Maryland. Cool. So when if you're out there, say hello and where you're from. So my goal today, I'm Steve Chrysler. I'm the founder here at Bookkeeping Life, and you might have seen some of my videos already. But my goal today is to give you a glimpse into my daily life. So a day in the life of a virtual bookkeeper. Now, I've been asked to do this for a long time, and I understand why, because people want to know what it's like. Um, the reason I have waited so long is really because for me it changes all the time. So I'll go over kind of different scenarios of how my day is, but it's very different. There's like 3 or 4 different categories my day would fall into, and that changes over time. So, but I'll go over each of those. But that's my goal today, is kind of give you an idea of what my day looks like, and why it looks like that, and then that you'd be able to apply that to your life, and your situation and your life will be different, but you'll be able to see that it's this is an awesome profession to be in, because it allows you to mold it to whatever's going on in your life. So if you don't know, hello everybody. Hi Bill. Anu. Uh, if you don't know my situation yet, I'm a single dad. I have a 9-year-old son, and I have 50-50 custody, and so that plays a role into when I work and how I work. So kind of my situation is so I either have my son, and it's a school day now that we're back in school, even though it's a Zoom school, so for now. uh, but it is so that's one situation. I have my son, and it's a school day. Another situation scenario is I have my son, and it's not a school day. And then there's the situation of it's I don't have my son; he's with his mom. And then there's the situation of say we're on vacation, or if we were allowed to go on vacations. But I'll show you that scenario. So. Uh, so that's kind of the 4 different days. Like a 9 to 5er may have 2 different types of days: a work day and a non-work day. Well, I don't really. What's really cool about this profession is that you can change it to your life. You're not trying to live your life around your work. You're really working around your life. Makes it really nice. And then as things change, and in a world that changes drastically, you're able to just adjust, and it doesn't phase you any. Uh, so let's go over each of those scenarios. So like a typical day. So yesterday, in the morning. So here's another thing. I'm a morning person, and I think I'm a morning person because um, I'll back up just a little bit. I've been doing accounting for 20 years, and I've been working on my own for myself for 17 of those years. So how I am, I think, is just a product of having worked for myself for so long, and it changes your mindset on how you spend your day, and how valuable you. Um, I'm just speaking for myself, but how much value you put in the hours of the day. So I'm definitely a morning person. I usually get up in the 5 o'clock time. I never use an alarm. Only time I ever use an alarm is when like if we need to catch an early flight for vacation, and so I'll set an alarm then, just so I can sleep, so I'm not worried about waking up on time. But I naturally wake up at 5 something every morning. This morning I woke up at 5:30. So because of that, and I think I do that because I like to get start in the day, I have a lot of things I want to do during the day, both work related and non-work related, mostly non-work related. And so I am always itching to, once my battery's charged, I'm ready to get up and get going. So, hello everybody. Thanks for joining. So also post up any questions you have along the way, and I'll come after I talk about this. I'll come back and answer any questions you have. All right. And so, anyways, yesterday is, let's say yesterday, I woke up, at 5 something, and my son was still with me, and coming off the weekend, and I always work a couple hours in the morning, pretty much every single day. I wake up early, get my coffee, walk my dog, and then open my computer and get working. And I usually put in 1 to 2 hours every morning, just kind of like right off the bat. And that's when I'm freshest. My brain seems to be working the best, and so I get going early, and I get a couple hours in. And with my son, he sleeps a little later. Us adults don't need as much sleep, and so it gives me quiet time in the morning, get some work done before he wakes up. So just going over yesterday, which is it's technically a day without my son. When he woke up, I took him to his mom's, and then I went to jujitsu training, and then so then I put in a couple hours of training. That was from 9 to maybe 10:30. Got back at 11. Put in some spattered hours. If you've been following me, you notice a change in scenery. I've moved my office from downstairs to the loft up here. So I worked on that a bit. I did some work, and then I went to 4:30 hot yoga, which was like sauna yoga. We were just coming off a major heat wave here. So and then last night I put in a little bit of work, not much. So that's kind of how a typical day of me not having my son is. So I get some work done in the morning. I do different errands, hobbies, projects that I'm working on, and then I jump back in, and then that's kind of how it is on a day that I kind of like a day I don't have my son. So then and today I woke up at about 5:30, and I've been getting ready for this, and I did do a little bit of work. So a day that I don't have my son is that it's get up early, work a bit, then I have my hobbies and stuff. I go to them, and I come back, I put in some work, have lunch, drink some coffee, get some work done, and then maybe another hobby in the afternoon or something in the afternoon, and I usually round up the evening with just a little bit of work or something like that. Then thanks, Mark. And then so let's go over a day that, let's say I have my son. Okay, so there's 2 scenarios when I have my son, and you may have young children, you may not, but so this gives you an idea of like how flexible your schedule can be as a virtual bookkeeper. And I say virtual because it's home based, and I can take it anywhere I go. If I go on vacation, this is my latest friend I take on vacation. So like me and my son went to Idlewild a couple weeks ago, and again, I wake up early, I break out this guy, get some work done. He wakes up, we get going, we go get breakfast, go hiking. I don't work too much, but so I'll go over a scenario when let's say I have my son, and it's a school day. So 2 scenarios when I have my son, not counting a vacation. Okay, so when I have my son, it's he either has school now that we're back in school, or back in virtual school. I call it Zoom school. So now that let's say he has school, Zoom school. So I get up early, get an hour or two in before he wakes up, um, and uh, then he wakes up. I get breakfast going, get him ready for Zoom school, and then make sure he's situated. Now that he's in Zoom, they sit down for an hour basically, and then they have a 15-minute break, another hour, then lunch and that kind of thing. So that allows me time to, and I also need to be here, so I can't just run out and do jujitsu or yoga. So I need to be here. So that is a good time for me to sit down and do some work myself. So while he's in Zoom school, I'm getting some work done. Then when he's done with school, I don't have to work. It allows me that free time to, because I've already put in some work for the day. That allows me to, when he's done with school, I'm done with work, and we can go play, go do something, and that's the scenario with on a day that I have my son and he's in school. Okay, now here's a scenario with I have my son, and it's a day off. Like we just came off the weekend. So that is another day. Every single day I get up. Every single day. I don't think of days as far as weekdays and weekends. I just think of them as these different scenarios that I have. So let's say, like over the weekend, I had my son. So I would again wake up early, get a couple hours in before he wakes up. He gets up, and I'd put in a lot less work during those days, because I know that there are days that I don't have my son and I can crank out a lot of work, and days that I have my son and I don't want to work. I want to spend that time with him. So we did, what did we do? Skate park in the morning, and then come back and fiddle around. We went to the pool, and then so that those days I just really, the days that I have my son and he is off of school, it's really just that time in the morning that I work, and then I do jump in during the day, answer emails and stuff like that. I always try to stay on top of all that stuff, and then sometimes if something's pressing, I'll work at night after he goes to bed. But I'm usually pretty done by then, so I usually am going to bed after watching a little something. So that's the deal with when I have my son, when he's in school and when he's out of school. So that's kind of that's three scenarios so far. Days I don't have my son, days I have my son and he's in school, days I have my son and he's not in school, and then kind of another scenario would be a vacation. So even vacations I work. I don't necessarily work every day, but I like to stay. I don't like the idea of things building up and stacking up, and then you come back home from vacation and then you have to work extra hard to catch up. I never like that. So even on vacation, I get up early. I just naturally rise early and get some work done in the morning before my son would get up, and then like Idlewild, when we went to Idlewild, that'd be kind of like a vacation. But yeah, it's just the same. It's wake up, get a couple hours of work in before the day gets really going, and then I'm free the rest of the day to just hang out with my son and do fun and cool stuff. So those are sort of my current 4 different scenarios. Now during the summer, before school started, there wasn't that other category of I have my son and he's in school. So it was a little more focus on work in the morning before he gets up, and more jumping in during the day, that kind of thing. But the thing that I'm trying to convey, and I hope I am, you can tell me, is that whatever your life situation is, you can figure out a way to work around that. And when you're first starting out bookkeeping, one, you may not have many clients anyways, so you may not have a lot of work there. So it allows you to grow into this type of lifestyle, and you'll figure it out really quick that you can actually live your life and then work around it. And that's a beautiful thing. And you might find yourself waking up earlier and earlier. Like I know people that are 9 to 5ers and they sleep in on the weekends. And I think to myself, man, they're killing themselves doing doing the 9 to 5 thing during the week, and then on the weekend they're chewing into hours of their life by sleeping in because they don't get to sleep in. And you may find like me that it completely changes you. It's just very very different. It's like an upside down version of a 9 to 5. So where you actually want to get up early because you have things you want to do. You're thinking the night before you go to bed, you're like, okay, tomorrow I can't wait to get up and do this and that, and looking forward to doing this. And so that's the rundown of my day in the life. My there was times where I worked harder and longer than I do now. I've sort of found a really nice life work balance now, and also the good thing about this industry is over time you can charge more. I talk about this in other videos and in the program, but it's industry where you get better, more efficient over time to where you're actually making more per hour over time to where you can scale the business to however much you need to work or want to work, and how much money you want to make. And so I'm currently at a life work balance situation now where I don't need to work 8 hours a day. If I work 4 hours a day on average, so again we're talking about seven. We're not talking about 9 to 5 5 days a week. We're talking about 7 days a week, because like I said, every day is not every day is the same, but every day falls into one of those 4 categories for me currently. So I don't think of like Saturday, Sunday I don't work. That just doesn't happen. Like I treat those days as they fall into one of those 4 categories. And it would probably be the same thing for you, is that you would have a set of situations where, say, your spouse was working or not working, or you have kids or you don't have kids, and you have different situations where some days you can work a lot more, so you take advantage of that, and some days life is in front of you and you want to enjoy it, so you take advantage of that. So that's pretty much the rundown. And your life would, you would figure that out as you went really quickly. So hopefully that gives you a good idea what a day in the life without getting into the actual work of pulling up QuickBooks and showing you that. But that's pretty much the rundown. So let's get into any questions you guys have. I want to read Mark's testimonial here. I purchased the program at its top rate. If you want to go this path, this information is what you need. Clear visibility on what you need. Cool. Thanks. That's really nice, Mark. I appreciate that. Yeah, so my program, if you're not familiar with it, I can post a link here in a bit. Today's the last day of our Labor Day sale, so if you're watching this live, today's the last day of our Labor Day sale. I'll post that link. And then if you're watching this on replay after today, that will probably be a dead link. But let me get that link for you real quick, just in case you need it. All right. And then we'll get into some Q&A. But yeah, this Labor Day special sale here is really, really cool. All right, question. Please clarify what work you do, reconciling or data entry or what? Yeah, all of it. So I do QuickBooks, bookkeeping, and taxes. I am getting out of taxes, so I'm trying to. I have enough. It went the opposite way than I thought it would. I thought I was going to phase out of bookkeeping and do taxes, but or focus on taxes. I've been doing bookkeeping and taxes for a lot of years, and I've realized that the because I'm that balance of being able to not be so stressed out. Tax season is very stressful because it's a floodgates open, and it's crazy, and it's kind of head down for a lot of months. But this season, it was the first season I backed off on that and doing a lot less taxes, and I really like where that's going. So probably next year I'll do even less. The bookkeeping is it's a month to month thing, so it's spread out like that, and it doesn't stress you out, and you're not, and it's also less. The urgency's not there. Like for bookkeeping, you can do the work throughout that next month. So we're in September now, so you should be doing August books, and you can, unless a client needs information quickly, you have that whole month to do their books, and it's not so stressful. Where tax season, you have to really grind it out. You have to, there are times where I'd have 30 tax returns at some stage, going at some stage. So they'd started, and I was working on them, waiting for information back from them, blah blah blah, waiting for them to sign off on e-filing, waiting for verification, all that. And that's quite a system that you have to have in place, and there's a lot of money in it, which is great, but it comes with a heavy load of stress and time commitment. So hopefully that answers ready for you 814's question and Mark Williams' question. How does this change during tax season? So yeah, each day's the same but different. Yep, yep. Year before last, I did 225 tax returns all by myself. So that's a lot going on. But I got really efficient at it and had a really good streamlined process, which maybe I can teach you guys that someday. How can I justify turning down any client until my ideal client business accounting workload is full? So, turning down clients or being choosy about clients and the types of clients you want. So, I wouldn't be overly choosy about your clients when you're building up your practice. 2 reasons. One, you need that experience, and you may need the money, and you need to grow your business, and you need to learn how to be efficient, you're going to learn so much. Even if it's not an ideal client, you're going to learn so much through that client. So if you're just starting out, I say take those less than ideal clients for those reasons. To a point, you don't want to have a client that takes away from you to where you can't get those ideal clients. You don't want a non-ideal client or less than ideal client eating up too much time or your happiness to where you can be using that energy somewhere else to get those ideal clients. But if you are needing clients, take them, work on them. You can always get rid of a client. You can price them out. That's what I would do. If I had a client, well, unless they were really bad, then I would just let them know that I just don't want to work with them anymore. But if they were kind of like on the borderline of a client that I could barely stand, I would raise their prices. And if they stayed, then good. I was making more money off of them. And if they left, that would be fine too. So, but I say when you're just starting out, don't be overly picky, but you still want to keep in mind the amount of energy and stuff that energy and time that you have. is limited. So you don't want to spend it all on a client that's not ideal. But I did a lot of, I had a lot of, and you don't even know that. You don't even know what an ideal client is when you're just starting out. Uh, you learn that through the process of having clients that you don't like. You that's part of the learning curve. Um, you will learn who you enjoy to work with, the types of businesses you like, by experiencing those that you don't like. So, but you never, and here's the thing, never feel like, because you're open for, you are not a brick and mortar business that sells shoes. Where you need to sell to anybody that comes in. No, you are a service-based company. You have the right and ability to be choosy about who you work with. So don't ever um, feel bad about being choosy. You need to be choosy. So Michelle, hi Michelle. Do you recommend only using one program for bookkeeping clients, such as QuickBooks, or do you just use whatever program your client chooses? I've always used QuickBooks. So there are so many QuickBooks clients out there that that's really the only program you need to learn. You can sure you can learn as many as you want, but you want to be really good at what you do, and it's going to take you longer to be really good at a lot of programs instead of focusing your energy on one program that has a lot of clients out there. There's tons of potential QuickBooks clients out there. You know, for me, I would rarely see a potential client that was not QuickBooks, and I would have no problem saying I don't work with that. So, but that's up to you. You know, you can focus on QuickBooks and then you can dabble in the other ones. Okay, so Mark asks, how do you address prospects who like what you propose but want you on site at their business for some period of time each week, and or they won't give up paper documentation? So the client needs to follow your direction. If they don't follow your direction, they're a problem. Drop them. Get somebody else. Because your comment says, and or they won't give you paper documentation. They're not meeting your specs. So you need to have a kind of like a spec list of what your clients need to do. They need to take your direction. If they don't, then they are not a client for you. Going on site, I did that for a lot of years, and I will never do it again. But it was a major learning curve and something that I recommend you do if you're up for it. Uh, I don't say don't do it. So going on site, I think, is fine. You learn a lot about a whole different world of walking into a situation. They're going to be looking over your shoulder, probably, especially in the beginning, and you got to deal with all of that. So I remember very well, and I did, like I said, I did this for so many years, probably 10 years. I went on site, and so you're walking in, you're meeting a client for the first time, meeting probably their co-workers and co-owners and employees, and you're sitting at a computer that is not your computer, and you have to absorb the situation, you have to problem solve, detect what's going on. A lot of times they don't know what they're doing. They don't know what's going on. They might have a slow computer. They might have an old QuickBooks desktop version. They may be a mess, and then you have to just boom, you're dropped into the situation. Um, but you learn really quick. Your brain really turns on. So um, there's no like lazing around in your pajamas, sort of working. You're dropped into a situation that you have to figure out quickly and assess the situation, deal with all the stress that is, and you have to be really turned on. So So that's a good experience going on site. All right, let's see. So, Reddy is asking, how do you plan your workday? Like first marketing, generating leads, then contacting customers, or just do customers' books? So, I talk about it in my program, but the ways that I get clients, they're already working. They're working while I'm working. So, um, except for like, say, networking and stuff like that. But again, if you have work to do, you can, let's say you have a networking group that you go to, do that in the morning, then come back and work. But for me, I don't. I'm not doing networking groups currently, and um, any marketing I do, that it's being done um, without me. So, or it takes 5 minutes to re-up it. I talk about all that in my program, what I'm doing and stuff. But so it leaves pretty much 100% of the time, 99% of the time for me is doing the books. So, Bill, what is WB? Is there a big difference between QuickBooks and WB? I don't know what WB is. Oh, Q. Uh, so you mean QuickBooks Desktop, I'm guessing, and QuickBooks Online? Is there a big difference? No. I mean, it depends on how you look at it. But I mean, the meat and potatoes of it, no. How it kind of, the little nuances, yes. It's online's browser based. It doesn't move as fast. I'm so efficient with the desktop version. I can fly around it, and it screens pop up, boom, boom, boom. You can have so many things open at once. And desktop version or online version is browser based, so you've got the time it takes for the browser to refresh. So you save something on the desktop version versus you save something on the online version. Desktop version, it's instant. Online version, it's a browser, so it takes that second or so um, to for the screens to change. And if you're really efficient, when you get really efficient, if you're not already, that chews up time. So I mean, there's pros and cons to each. As far as moving around quickly, desktop version. As far as making things really easy for you to communicate with your clients and that kind of thing, the online version is great. I used to hate the online version because of that, but I've grown to like it. And it's where it's all going anyway, so you got to accept it. So, and things are getting faster. The program itself is getting better. So how long does it take to learn QuickBooks? Well, QuickBooks, it doesn't take long to learn the basics of QuickBooks to where you can do simple clients. You can learn it all within like a week. That's how our program is. The program we have here is basically within a week you can be up and running with your own bookkeeping business, and that includes learning QuickBooks to a point where you can do basic bookkeeping of simple clients, and I explain all that in the program. But that is I'd say if you buckle down, you can learn what you need to know in a week, and then you're going to always be learning after that. Because you can take on more complex clients that are going to touch different parts of the program that simple clients don't need or use. And also the program is always changing a little bit, so you're always learning. I'm still learning today. Murphy's asking, do you work with clients that use QuickBooks Desktop? Yep. And what software platform do you use to work remotely with them? So I've used all the main ones in the past of like remoting into their system. But mainly what I do now is um, if they're on desktop, I am not doing day-to-day kind of stuff. I'm doing a monthly type thing or even quarterly, and they'll send me. I usually have them send me their books. I'll work on them, send them back to them. So do I just do level one books only? That's correct. I've done all the other levels. So here at Bookkeeping Life, we've coined a term that's called level one bookkeeping, which is just you're not paying their bills, you're not collecting their AR. They're basically doing the day to day the day to day stuff, and I'm doing the monthly um, reconciliations and that kind of thing. Where they actually, they pay their own bills, and they collect their own money. They send their own invoices out. They do their own payroll. I don't do payroll. I've done all that stuff before, especially when I was going on site. So if you go on site, typically a lot of times a client will want you to do all those different types of things. They'll have you get the mail even. I mean, I was going to the bank for them, making deposits, all, back before you could just take a picture of it. So you get the checks, receive it against the invoices, take it to the bank, etc. And then also sending out invoices, all that stuff. You can do all that for sure. I don't currently do that stuff anymore. Like I said, so what's interesting about this is when you start, it's good to kind of touch on all those different areas, and then you can kind of back it down to so that you know what's going on, so that you're a well-rounded bookkeeper, and then you can kind of back it down to as you're filling up your plate with ideal clients. It's up to you what an ideal client is. So my ideal might not be your ideal. So Mark's asking, have you ever sought out clients who have their books in a mess and need a lot of cleanup work? I can't say that I sought them out. They'll find you. Most are like that in the beginning, and then you clean them up, and then they're smooth sailing going forward. I don't think you have to sort of seek them out, because they do find you. That's why they're looking for a new bookkeeper. Either they messed it up, or their current bookkeeper messed it up, and then it's your job to take this mess, clean it up, get it really nice and pretty, and then going forward it's super smooth, because it's you that's doing it, and it's you that got it to where it's smooth. And that's a fun the nerdy part of my accounting brain likes, is that was always kind of neat to see, is to take this huge mess, this huge problem, sort it all out like a big puzzle, put it together nicely, and then going forward, and just so you can remember how it used to be and how it was when you got it, and then how it is going forward. It's really, really easy going forward if you're doing the books. Nobody else is messing with them. Yeah, so my typical clients these days are just level one clients. I try to keep my life simple nowadays. I've had a lot of stressful days in my life, though, of going on site, and I haven't even really thought about that in so long until you brought that up. Going on site, being scared of what I was walking into, and talking to people you don't know, and then trying to figure everything out with them hanging over your shoulder. So So most clients that I take on, there's a bit of cleanup slash catch up work, and then it's just month to month going forward. If a client's bookkeepers, I mean, except for the rare situation where they lose their bookkeeper because their bookkeeper moved or something like that, that does happen too. But you're usually dealing with the situation that if you're taking on a potential client, it's because somebody messed up their books, or it's a new company, they need to start books, or they were doing them themselves and either messed them up or they got too busy to do them themselves. That's kind of the typical new client. Yeah, on site. Yeah, you gotta, there's so many things you have to deal with when it's on site. You might be dealing with a dog, biting at your ankles. Who knows? So it's, I've dealt with so much stuff. Um, yeah, then the tech problems, like you're dealing with, they have this crappy old computer and you're trying to do do something that you're used to being able to do quickly, and it's taken forever. And yeah, tech problems is, you also become somebody that's a good tech guy as well, because you have to problem solve tech issues while you're on site too. So you become a well-rounded individual. Yeah, that's good, Mark. Anybody else have any questions? So the day in the life, in summary, work around your life, live your life. That's the thing. This all goes by so fast. My son's 9 now, and I can't even believe it. So, I just, my goal is to help convert as many people as possible to, living their dream life and not working their whole life. Anu is asking how much you charge. A simple client, average, if you're just a beginner. So that really depends on where your client is, because the cost, what you can get for a client depends on lots of different, and I have videos on that, and I talk about it in the program, because it's not just a quick answer. One of the biggest variables in that formula is where the cost of living where your client lives. So if you're in Beverly Hills, or let's say your client, it doesn't matter really where you are, it matters where your client is. The cost of living, not necessarily where you are unless you're in the same place, same area. It's the cost of living where your client is probably the biggest factor, and also your experience and how choosy you can be. But really, so if you have, say, someone in a very low cost of living area, I'm from Illinois originally, central Illinois, out in the country. Cost of living there is very, very low. People will not pay what I charge here. It'd be a completely different ballgame. I live in Southern California, coastal, so its cost of living here is expensive. So if my client is here, I can get, they're used to paying a lot more for services than a lower cost of living place. So that is the what you need to factor in. And what I recommend you do is find out what other bookkeepers are charging. You can call them. You can check out their website and see if they have it posted on their website. So first thing to do, if you're wanting to figure that out today, is to Google bookkeepers in your area or the area you want to get clients. And then from there you can either call them and ask them, what is your basic bookkeeping rate? And see if they have one. So I talk about, here's another big thing is I talk about um, charging flat rate. I recommend flat rate versus hourly. That's a whole nother video though. I can redo it and we can have another live session soon on that alone. I do not. So Reddy asks, do I have a contract? Nope. Never have. A lot of people do. A lot of bookkeepers do. So that's a personal choice. For me though, I never liked it, the idea of it, and they. This is what I always told my potential clients: as long as you enjoy working with me and I enjoy working with you, we will work together. That's it, and that's always worked for me. I don't like the idea of locking somebody in or being locked in. Why would you want to do that? Why would you want to work with somebody you don't enjoy working with? And why would you want, if they didn't like you, why would you want to lock them into working with you? So I don't do contracts. Cool. All right, so I need to remind you about, if you have any other questions, please post them up. And you can always email me any questions that if you don't feel like posting something on here, that's completely fine. You can email me at steve@bookkeepinglife.com and I'll get back to you. If you like this, please like it, share it. If you know somebody that might benefit from it, subscribe if you're not a subscriber, all that good stuff. And let me, before I answer final questions, hang on 1 second. The microphone drops. Hang on 1 second. My tape job didn't hold. All right. So again, the Labor Day sale is ending today. Okay, at midnight tonight. So let me post that link one more time. If you're wanting to join the program. So my program is, and I'll get back to, hi Deborah, I'll get back to your question. So my program goes over everything from branding to advertising, learning to talk to clients, how to talk to clients, what all that good stuff, and also comes with a QuickBooks course. But you can learn all about that in that link of what it includes. It's basically 5 steps. 1, get my program. 2, learn about branding, and we also have a bundle that comes with a professional logo and website. So learn about branding, get your branding in place, learn how to effectively advertise, learn how to talk to clients, and learn QuickBooks if you don't know QuickBooks. So it comes with all that good stuff in one program. So check out that link and let me know if you have any questions, and I'll get back to you. And the sale ends tonight at midnight, so it's a really good deal. So Deborah, do you work with Canadian clients? I don't think I have ever had a Canadian client. But if they're on the U.S. dollar, or even if they're not, you can still work with them. And if you can definitely take them on. QuickBooks works. Mark, I really appreciate that. That's cool. That's great. Good. Thanks for joining, Mark. We've had a lot of students. I never really know what to call you guys that take the program, if you're students or a lot of you become friends actually. So as we talk a lot and stuff, but people that have taken the program, we've had a lot of people from Canada and the UK. So mostly in the US, but other places as well. All right, any other questions? Going once? Okay, I hope everybody has a great day. We'll do another one of these soon. And like I said, email me. Here's my email. It's really easy to remember. I can see book. There's my email. Email me any questions. There's the link to the special ins tonight. Get on it. All right. Hope everybody has a great day. Thanks for joining. Take care.